So when I talk about classifying data, I mean we take a list of the values of the variable and we try to split the individuals up into groups like small, medium, large, or whatever. We're classifying them into categories. And the reason for that is that we want to we'll use this is like the first step towards making a certain kind of graph. That kind of graph it's a histogram. You make these bars, and the height of each bar is related to how popular are the X values in that region. So here this bar, this class D, gets a real tall bar because there are a lot of individual oak trees, a lot of these dots belonging to that class. So what this whole classifying data topic is about, it's just the part where you decide where to put the boundaries between the extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, giant, right? Okay. And so there's a procedure laid out here in the workbook, and I kind of go through it in the lecture video also. Step by step, how do you make those class boundaries? And the first thing you do is you determine the range of the data. You subtract the minimum from the maximum. What do I mean? The minimum is the smallest X value, the maximum is the biggest. You subtract. You do the biggest minus the smallest, you get a number. That's the range of the data. And so the first step is to just find out how much is that range. Well, let's see. Let's get the data. What data? Let's see. 27 chestnut oak trees planted on a poor site. Okay. So if I'm just staying in the workbook, I'll get Excel out here in a minute, but just to make all our arithmetic easier. But you see, you go to the data chapter in the workbook, and you come down here, tree diameters. Okay. Tree diameters, it's got a little text, and then you got the list. Okay. So to find the range, we need to find the biggest and subtract the smallest. Easier with Excel because you can sort. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But I can just look here. The biggest one is 8 inches, and the smallest is 0.8 inches. And so I can just work out the range. Let me go back over here. Eight inches minus 0.8 inches equals 7.2 inches. You don't have to type all that, but I'm just typing a little extra so you can see how I got the answer. Okay, then based on the range, you choose a scale. Well, see, if I were to go 10, 20, 30 inches, the whole graph, the whole range would fit in just one of these. It would be a tiny little graph on your piece of paper. You don't want that. You need to count 1, 2, 3. And then when you get up to 8, you've covered the whole range. So we're going to use this scale. How does the language work? Scale should be 1 inch. What's the word scale? The scale, it's the distance between the major grid lines, the distance from here. Well, I can't quite point. The distance from here to here. On this graph paper, I don't know if you can see on the screen, but there's heavy grid lines, and there's 10 little lightweight lines in between. So the scale is the distance between the heavy ones. Since there's 10 of the little light ones, the distance between the minor grid lines should be 0.1. And I'm saying inches because that's the units of measurement for the variable on the x-axis, because the variable, this data set, is the diameter of oak trees in inches. Okay, so it's the inches of diameter of the tree. I don't mean literal inches on the paper. Maybe it's the same, but that's an accident. Let me stop for a moment there. Any question up to this point? Okay, well, I'm going to get the Excel spreadsheet. One moment. So on the home page in Canvas, there's a link to this. You can download this. Let's see. Okay. And I'll go over here to the tree diameters. And I want to hide a whole bunch of stuff that it's got nothing to do with what we're doing at the moment. There's a column on here about the squared diameter also, and about the age of the trees, and I've hidden both of those columns because this question's just about the distribution of the diameter, not the other stuff. And now I want to figure out just about how many classes I should use for this data set. In other words, when I draw my histogram, how many bars? Am I just going to do small, medium, large, 3 classes? Or am I going to throw in the extra small and the extra large or whatever and do 5 classes? How many categories? And there's a rule for this, or a suggestion by a guy named Sturgis, for how you work out the number. I will talk more about why this is a good formula. I got a whole video on why. It's a lecture video. It's one of those pre-recorded ones that you can already get to. But it's the idea is, as you collect more and more data, you should be able to make more and more classes. Oh yeah, thanks. I see going on in the chat there. Someone was asking, where do you get the data sheet? And yeah, it's on the home page. And there's some talk about it there also. You want to just download it once. Don't keep downloading fresh copies all the time, because you're going to want to do work in that spreadsheet and keep the work. So, you know, if I change something, I'll let you know, hey, there's a new one. But otherwise, just get one and keep working that one. A lot of what we do, someone was asking about Google Sheets. A lot of what we do can work in Google Sheets, but we will use a couple of features that where I haven't found a feature in Google Sheets to do it. That'll come later in the semester, and you can work around it. But I'm only going to demonstrate things in Excel, because if I start having to figure out how to do everything two ways and then make videos on how to do things two ways, it gets to be a little too much. So yeah, and I hope you got the message somewhere in one of the recorded things about you can get the whole Microsoft Office suite for free as a part of your City College enrollment. So I think I've sent you a link somewhere, but if not, you can go to the City College ccsf.edu and just type Microsoft Office download for students in the search bar, and it'll bring you right to the page. There's some links and instructions. Okay. So I want to get a show of hands here. How many of you guys have already watched a lecture video on this topic? Do to the raise the blue hand if you already watched it. See this talk that I'm doing right now? When I just talk, I end up saying all of the same things, almost the same words that I put in the lecture video. And there's really no reason to do that on Zoom, except to get your questions. Yeah. So now the question is, see, if I've only got 2 people here who watched the video, calling for questions, you don't even know what the subject is. If I just keep talking, I repeat my lecture.
I have a suggestion. This is Chrissy. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
I know I wrote you too because I was totally clueless on this one, but it makes sense sort of now. I think what might be helpful, because coming to the Zoom and being able to ask questions is helpful for me to get the homework done, but the homework was due on Monday. So I feel like it would be if you did the videos and then our class was just sort of I don't know, I guess a follow-up
I spent,
that we could ask questions, it would be helpful, but I didn't know to ask the question.
No, I hear what you're saying. I think what happened was on Monday, I saw the mistakes from previous homework.
Right.
So I took Monday and I said, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the vocabulary again. Because now that they've watched those videos and they've tried the homework and they made some mistakes, maybe now we can talk about it. And so I did that. But that was leaving for you then. Okay, well, assuming you watched the video on the weekend, homework's due Monday, so I figured on the weekend you watched the lecture video. And we're kind of to that point now, you see, where you watch the video on the weekend and you did the homework number 1 assignment for Monday. And now I've graded some of those. We can go over your questions and then we'll come back and we hit it with the homework number 2 a few days later. So that's kind of the way I imagine it. You watch the lecture, you try the homework 1, I go over it, take questions, then you try the homework 2.
So then the one that you're doing here is homework 1 still, correct? Or is that homework?
It's the homework 1. Yeah, I think the homework 1 moment. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but
because yeah, I haven't looked today to see.
Yeah, I just look at my thing here. So the homework 1 on number line plots and the homework 1 on classifying data, that was due Monday night. Okay, so the theory was you watch the mini lectures on the weekend, you hand those homeworks in on the 24th, and then I come back and kind of go over it and take your questions. The homework 2 comes due a couple of days later, 28th. So after you've got some homework feedback and had a Zoom session chance, you can get to the homework 2.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can play the lecture video for you guys. It's been yeah. Kind of confused about what to do because doing a Q&A session when you haven't done it yet, it's not working. Okay. Let's start out this way. The part where you have done some things, you've worked on the vocabulary. And I've been grading those. I graded a bunch of them yesterday, and I've sent you some feedback. And I've noted some errors. Would any of you guys like to look at that homework feedback on the vocabulary and then ask me some questions about that right now so we can have a two-way conversation?
Okay, this is Chrissy again. Sorry, I'm like dominating the conversation here, but
no,
I don't have I don't have questions about that you're asking,
okay.
but I am in my Canvas for like under modules.
Okay.
And there's nothing available to watch, you know, be like next, like right now, nothing is open to me besides classifying data.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. So the next,
if we're trying to find a pattern
after
here,
the next thing after classifying data ought to pop up here really soon. Let me see if I can. So like the material on percent frequency histograms. Let me do this share. Let me share this thing. Course modules. Yeah. So after the classifying data, the next one is many lectures and materials on frequency tables. And so there's this one video where I introduce frequency tables, and then one how to create and format them in Excel.
So and for some reason, mine are grayed out. I can't, mine are grayed out. So maybe I need to go somewhere else. I'm in modules, but maybe that's not where I need to be.
Well, let's find it. Let's find it now. Hang on. So I click on modules. Yours are grayed out. Oh, I know what that is. Okay. You have to go in order.
Oh, that's because I missed an
So
assignment.
it's not going to show you
Okay,
the mini lectures on classifying data until you do the homework, the first homework on the number line plots.
that makes sense.
It has to go in order. Yeah. So the whole thing for the weekend was down to, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing right now,
Yeah,
down
I
to
noticed
here.
that. So that's
You
my,
see? Yeah.
yep, got
And
it.
then to be really ready for the 26th, you would have watched this.
Yep, I see now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So let me try again on the questions about earlier stuff. And then I think what I'll do is I'll send you guys off to watch these things. See, because I was just talking to you about number line plots and all that. You see this video right here? It's the same words. And then if you don't like the video, I've got it in PowerPoint format as well. And then if you don't like the way I explain it, I've got a Khan Academy video. And then the statistics has got it. It doesn't have instructions for the number line plots. It shows you an example or two, but it doesn't really get into how you figure out the scale and all that. Okay. So I think I want to try for clearing up questions and concerns about the earlier material wherever you have done the reading and watched the videos. Let's do that first. And then I'll sign off and send you to go watch those videos, and then you get back to me on Thursday. Questions from anybody? Okay. Well, yeah. I hope you don't think I'm being lazy here. I never want to be accused of being lazy by my students. But I'm going to sign off. But the thing is, you can book the individual meetings, or send me email or something. And mostly, do those homework assignments so I can give you feedback on them. The homework 1 is where you get some feedback, and then homework 2, presumably, it's the same thing, but you do it better. So, okay. I'm going to call it a day.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate your help.
Oh yeah. Good luck to everybody. I'm not frustrated about this, but I need to communicate better. I wish the rest of the class was online right now. Because I'll put out some kind of an announcement.
And I
Okay.
will try to catch up.
Okay. Well, good luck to everybody and keep in touch. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you.